I should start with the Chinese University. How many of you have been to that campus? Okay, so everybody has been to that campus. So if we have 9 universities in Hong Kong, but I think this has the best Feng Shui. Right? And we are very, very happy to be there and very proud to be there. So what I'm talking about is integrating natural and cultural heritage, the advantage of Feng Shui landscape. I want to confess that I look at Feng Shui from the environmental perspective, and we don't look at Feng Shui from the cultural perspective. When I started working on this in the year 2000, I had issues with reviewers of journals. So when you send the journal, they start writing back that, oh, there is no cultural. So I had to take my stand and say, I know it's really cultural, but we are also looking at it from the environmental and ecological perspective. And we got accepted, and that is where we are. I have no outline. I just thought, we should discuss, and you can stop me at any point, and let's just have a discussion, so that one of the things you mentioned is I do knowledge sharing and management for development. I like knowledge sharing, so what I know you don't know, I share. What you know and I don't know, we share. I think this is what makes a better situation. How many of you have seen this? You know this guy? If you are in Hong Kong, you probably know this guy. Yeah. What does he do?
Allegedly Feng Shui.
Allegedly Feng Shui. Yeah, well, this is the best Feng Shui master. I think that's what they say. But I got this from the, there's a newspaper which is online called China. They just call it China. And they refer to him as the use and abuse of Feng Shui in Hong Kong. So he uses that knowledge for different purposes. I don't take issues with him. If I can use that knowledge the way he does, I will be very happy, and I will not be here. I will not be standing here. Yeah, so, but we are not doing as he is. So ours is to try to share. My topic is natural and cultural heritage. So what I do is I start to look at heritage. So we agree together what heritage is. And then we move on to the cultural aspect of heritage. And then we move on to the natural aspects of heritage. And then at the end, we put them together, natural and cultural. And then we will see together if they are important or if they are not important. So that's my kind of outline, what I want to do. Now, heritage defines a sense of place. At any time, any point in time, heritage is basically like a sense of place. That means it's something that you like, something that you think you live with, something that is relevant to you, and so on. So I hope we will see that. How many minutes do I have?
It's up to about 30 to 40.
It's not up to me because I'm standing.
30 minutes.
I'm standing between people and dinner, I think. So I don't want to take so much time. I hope. So it's sense of place, and I hope we identify that. Now, we look at things like, in terms of sense of place, that's where you are. And sense of place, you can always view. This is visual, so what you see, you can always refer to that. This is cognitive, what you understand, out of it. And the last one is experiential. That is how you get involved in that heritage perspective. So all those three, and for different people. So for us, we actually look at the place, because I'm from the geography perspective. So if you are a psychologist, you are cognitive, you are trying to understand. If you are an anthropologist, maybe it's what you see, whatever, you can always find yourself in what we call a heritage scape. So there is heritage scape, there is landscape, there is cityscape, and there is also the heritage scale, which has a spectrum. So if we think something is a heritage, then in that sense it is either cultural or it has some certain links with the past, links with the history, links with a specific place. So I hope we understand that, and let's remember that, because I will come back to that again in a minute. History and culture will allow us to understand what we are talking about. So there is this adage that if you don't know where you are going, you better know where you are coming from. So in case there is anything, you can always say, I came from there, and so you can be able to go back, to trace back. But if you don't know where you are going, then that is also a challenge. Whenever I try to talk on heritage, and I'm not talking to you like students, I'm talking to you like, colleagues, all of us are in this together, so we are sharing. I always try to understand the fact that heritage is so many things. It's the past, it's the future, it's today, and so on. So there is living heritage, something that we do for daily life. Okay, so if you look at Hong Kong, you have so many streets. Everything has a street in Hong Kong. Can you tell me one or two streets? There is the Birds Street, right? Birds. There is also the Flower Street, right? There is the Wedding Card Street. There is the Dry Seafood Street. There is Lady Street, and so on. So let me just stop here. But anything you can think of has a street, and it didn't start today. When the colonialists came, they started staying. Those streets started to become. So it has been there a long time ago, and it's here now. So that's what I'm talking about. It's for the people who are here. It's heritage. Now, it's cultural and it's natural, and those two becomes an inspiration, to our livelihood. Okay. And this is what I got from a textbook, and this heritage is a gift from the past to the future. Heritage is a gift from the past to the future, because we respect it because it's heritage long time ago, and we are using it now, and we want our next generation to continue to use it. So it's a whole gamut. We look at many different areas in the world, and anywhere you are, there is a heritage. Maybe not for you, but for those local people in any part of the world. So some of them are very unique. Some of them are, scientifically important. Some of them are for conservation, some of them for preservation, and so on. Some of these landscapes are from Inner Mongolia. Most of these are not my photos. If it is my photo, I will tell you, because I like to show my photo as well, if I'm the one who take it. Now that one is mine. Okay, so that's mine, from China, somewhere. We have UNESCO. You know UNESCO? Yeah. So UNESCO has a World Heritage Convention. They had a congress last week in China. I just attended, and that ended last week on, I can't remember now, it's too many things, but just less than 3 days now. And so they have differences. So they have cultural heritage. And they say cultural heritage, this definition is from UNESCO, and you can basically get it on the website of UNESCO's website. And it's a monument, it's a group of buildings, it's historical, it's archaeological, it's scientific, it's anthropological. So you see, even UNESCO is not sure what it is. They just put everything together. You know, but we accept that, and that is, you know, what we do. Now this is Hong Kong, right? And Tai-O. Yeah, so Tai-O. So Tai-O can also be reflected. That's also my photo. Okay. Now, if they say cultural heritage is all this, then we can decide to break down cultural heritage so that we can be able to identify what we are interested in. So in this sense, we can look at it as artistic achievement, and that means it can be tangible and it can be intangible. So you can identify it as an entity or you cannot. So artistic achievement, you know, with creative innovation, you know, and so on. It has influenced quite a few people and, you know, a group of civilization. These guys are actually from South America. I think it's Bolivia, you know, or somewhere. And they are all worshipping the mountain because to them that's a strong heritage. The same thing is happening in Mount Fuji, if you know, and I think also in Nepal and other places. So a heritage can be an example of human settlement. Okay, so I will show you in a minute, you know, some photos of human settlement that students took, and also can be events. Okay, and I think you know where this is. You know where this is?
What, in Turkey?
In Turkey. So that's one of those, because in Turkey is one of the countries that have so many heritage sites, world recognized heritage sites, and so they have heritage trails that you follow. In Hong Kong we also have heritage trails, but I'm not talking about those you know, today.